Okay, going into last weekend, both Swansea and Sunderland were trying to end their run of a small blip. Both had successful wins, and they both play each other this weekend in what's going to be an incredibly hard game to predict. Let's check in with our resident experts in both camps. First of all, let's head to the Swansea.com stadium with Richard. How are you, Richard?
Very good. Thank you, Mark. Very good. Nice to be back on winning ways after a couple of defeats. Always good.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the Blackburn game, shall we? Then, like you've highlighted, and we've spoken about before. You're on a little bit of a mini run of defeats, having gone four on the bounce with wins. Blackburn are a funny side, aren't they? They're very competitive and they like to get it down and play. But did you just out football them?
It's a strange old league, Mark, isn't it? Literally 2 wins, 2 losses on the bounce at home. I come in last week, it's all bad after the international break. You come to a ground you haven't won in 52 years and totally expecting, happy with a point, take anything really, hard place to go. And we played great. We just outplayed them. We should have won 3-4, to be honest. We had the chances to do it. I don't know, Michael Duff said about the referee wasn't very kind to us at times, so you could say that perhaps we could have had a penalty, I think, at least one. But Liam Cullen scored a great goal in the first half. He's done that so many times. I've seen him do that. So nice for the lad to do that and hopefully get his new contract on the bounce now.
And how important was the clean sheet? Because there hasn't been that many, has there, this year?
No, and I think half of that's down to constant change as well. Unfortunately, injuries do crop up, and we've patched together defence at times, but it does seem to be a bit more settled. I think Josh Key would probably play if he's fit at times, but Harrison Ashby probably had his best game for us last week on loan from Newcastle. But Humphreys, he just looks a tremendous player on loan now, and he's been there a couple of months now, settling into the centre, and I think it might take Ben Cabango a bit to get back in a team though, since he's been out, which is, it shows good for competition on places.
Yeah, I want to ask you about Michael Duff. We're now sort of well over a quarter of way into the season. I want to ask you about what the fans' view of of him and the job that he's done. Has he won the majority of supporters over, do you think?
I think with the Swans fans, generally what they want to see is identity. We've come playing a certain type of football over the last sort of decade or so, and they like to see the ball being played on the floor, passed around, attacking, entertaining football, possession based. Duff has tried to change things up a bit, and he said he wants to do more of a direct style than Russell Martin did, which was more sort of the tiki-taka style that you'd expect of that. So it's a compromise of the both, but it's very intense and it involves quite a high pressing game, which is extra effort on some of the players that perhaps aren't so used to what he's expecting. He brought a new team in as well, and like you say, with the fans, it's always going to be hard when a new manager comes in. He's trying something different, and especially if you've had, it's hard to say with Martin really elements of success. We had a lot of derby wins, but we sort of had decent-ish finishes. So he needs time, and they are starting to be bought. The run we had where we were winning was great. Had that mini blip, not so sure anymore. It's kind of, but then that surprising win last week breeded confidence in the team. And it's I'm excited to see what we can do this season.
Yeah, that loss against Watford was the strange result in all of that, wasn't it? Losing against Leicester, anyone's going to do. But Sunderland then this weekend, and then a tricky away trip to Ipswich before the next international break. How many points are you going to get out of those two fixtures?
Oh, it gets hard now as well. We've got Leeds coming later on in the month as well. So at the moment, I feel we can get points out of games when we're playing these teams. You look on paper, you think it's going to be a tricky one. This weekend will be tough, but I feel Sunderland's a very similar sort of team than us. Two young teams, hungry, like to play the right way. Both lost good strikers in the summer. Looking to get more goals from midfield. They've got some great players. Jack Clark is fantastic, and it's going to be how we deal with him this weekend. So I think we can get something out of the match, and I'm it'd be nice to get a home win just to get the fans something to cheer about, because we haven't been great at home this season as such. We've won the odd, but I think we 2-1, 2-1. I think would be a really, I think we get something there. Ipswich, now you're talking. You're talking a side which reminds me a little bit about when we went up, when Bournemouth went up in the previous years. So I'd take anything up there at the moment. I think that's personally.
All right, we'll come back to you and get your confirmation of your prediction in a minute. Let's cross over then to the northeast and join Jack. Good evening, Jack.
Evening, mate. All right.
I'm good. I'm good. So you were there against the Norwich game. Talk us through what sounded, listening to the commentary and watching the results come in, an exciting one. Was it, or did the scoreline not reflect how dominant you were?
It's a tricky one, really. Obviously, I think we played really well. Again, by all accounts, we look back to what we've been like. Obviously we're coming off 3 defeats on the bounce. We knew we had to win this game. And yeah, we brought Rooston into the starting 11 up front, and he looked a lot sharper. Was Lincoln play a lot better and making some really good runs. But yeah, I think on the whole, we did look back to our best, and in the end got quite a convincing and deserved victory, I'd said.
Yeah, and just talk to us about Ballard, because there's been a lot in the press about obviously the performances. Just how good a player is he?
Outstanding. I'm running out of superlatives from every single week. I mean, we come back off the defeat at Stoke, really underwhelming, but he was just top class. Like, the positions he gets in as a centre half, he's absolutely everywhere. You can't believe it. So strong, really, really good on the ball as well. And he's another one of our players who I know we're going to sell for about 20, 30 million, because the Premier League, it's going to be similar to the likes you've seen with Harry Maguire and Harry Souttar in the past, like a young British centre back, and yeah, he's going to get sold on it. But we're lucky to have him while we do. He's brilliant. I mean, he's next to Luke O'Nien, who traditionally isn't a centre back. He's doing a decent job, to be fair to him, but yeah, he's a top leader, especially for his age. He looks so mature.
Yeah, he's definitely Premier League material, isn't he?
100%.
Okay, so you came back against Norwich, which was a great result. Puts you 8th, and you're in 3 points of 3rd position. So it's incredibly bunched up there. There's 15 teams spread around 6 points, but with a good run now, you can finish in the playoff positions just before the international break, can't you?
Yeah, it's a strange one, really, because whatever position you're in at that point is a bit of a false one, because a win or a defeat either way can drop you 3 or 4 places. I mean, we were up to 4th at one point, and then we dropped down to, I think, as low as 10th. But it's strange. I think if we can get a win on Saturday, which is going to be tough, definitely. Swansea is definitely a tough place to go. And then we're back at home next Saturday. I think if we can get 4 points, 6 would be brilliant, but 4 points, I think, would give us a lot of confidence going into another national break and hopefully put us in a steady position.
Yeah, it's only Birmingham next week, isn't it? Should be nice. Yeah, so a lot of miles for you to travel then this weekend, Jack. Not a great record against Swansea either. Let's get some score predictions from you both. Richard, you said 2-1, is that right?
Yeah, I'm thinking 2-1. We've won, like you say, we've got a good record, won last 4. So I think we can do it again. We just got to stop Jack Clark. That's the main thing. And I think it's time for Jerry Yates to start scoring some more goals now. He'd be the match winner this weekend.
Nice one, Richard. Jack, I'm going to curse this by saying that Sunderland don't do draws. You're either amazing and win, or you're not very great and lose. So I'm sorry for cursing it. What are you going with yourself?
Funnily enough, as you say that, I do agree with you, but I was aiming towards a draw. I mean, I made the long journey there last year, and we ended up getting beat. Jack Clark did score. Hopefully he can do that again. I'm not going on Saturday, and I can't be doing that a long trek again. But yeah, I do think it'll be a draw. I think Swansea's one of them places where it's really hard to come out and come away with a win. I know Richard did say they've lost the last 2 home games, mind you, but Yeah, I think it's just one of them places. It's going to be tough. They're going to impose themselves. They've had a good win that'll build a lot of confidence last weekend, but I don't think we'll shy away. I think we'll go out and play our stuff. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, I think.
Nice one. Right, listen, you both. Thank you very much for all your comments and all your punditry. It's always entertaining. Enjoy the game, and we will catch up with you for one more time before the international break. And see how you've got on. Thank you both.
Cheers.
Cheers,
All the best.
Cheers, fellas.
I know.